Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé latest news. There once lived a lad who never believed his name would make news in the tranquil heartland of Virginia, where rows of corn extend like pages of a lost book and barns stand like time capsules from another age. The quiet, soft-spoken son of the earth, Brandon Gibbs, neither sought nor was born into anarchy. In his world, simplicity was everything. Structure, the soft pulse of feeding animals at morning and withdrawing into silence at evening. He never sought popularity. Still, stardom arrived regardless. It arrived wrapped in lights and microphones and the whirl of love of a Russian firecracker called Julia Trubkina. They met online, in that odd virtual environment where fantasy and longing interact. Wild and electrifying, Julia dreamed of life outside boundaries. Brandon, quiet and doubtful, looked for a spark in his country's silence. By all the evidence, it was unlikely. Still, it worked for a time. 90 days living under the wary eyes of his parents, Ron and Betty, Fiancé brought them into the world. The free-spirited dancer and the loyal farm lad. Viewers gasped, laughed, grimaced, and sighed. Their road was real, honest, messy. But what happened in 60-minute segments was hardly the whole picture. Underlying it all, a subtle struggle of identities started. Julia objected to the guidelines, the housework, the curfews, the hovering mother-in-law. She was yearning her own life. Though affectionate, Brandon stayed close to the security of the only world he had ever known. The tension was not only romantic. The existential nature of it was. Their troubles did not vanish when the cameras stopped rolling. They grew via multiplication. Julia first began to disappear from Brandon's Instagram. Her eyes in pictures seemed different. Piercing, far-off, weary. She cut off discussing the farm. She began to speak about liberation. She left one day as well. Not cameras. No TLC crew here. Just packed suitcases, a slammed door, and quiet. Depressed, Brandon withdrew. Not only physically but spiritually as well. He was a man grounded nowhere. Like a ghost, he wandered the farm, constantly monitoring social media, phoning producers, writing emails he never sent. Betty bothered. Ron drew back, silently let down. Friends report Brandon stopped using whole sentences. Late at night, he started filming himself and murmured ideas into his phone. Observing past episodes. Turning back events when Julia grinned at him. Replaying what he had lost. And suddenly the picture showed up. Only one picture. A flashbulb in the darkness. Julia, brilliant, wrapped in an embrace with Florian Sukaj, a face known to every 90-day enthusiast. Once tumultuous husband of Stacy Silva, now side by side with Julia, in what seemed less like friendship and more like love. Pupils speculated. Ideas blossomed like wildfire. Still, Brandon's mind saw the story already written. He had been replaced. Things started to spin at that point. Brandon became unstable in his actions. Under bogus usernames, he started anonymously messaging fan pages pushing stories about Julia and Florian. Insinuations of cheating, manipulation, emotional abuse. One blogger claimed to have had more than 100 responses in 1 week, all of which contained assertions too specific to discount. Most were erased within several hours. Still, Julia noticed them. She also identified the voice underlying the words. On chilly Virginia evenings, that voice used to murmur love into her ear under covers. It was whispering war right now. Driven by emotional tiredness and legal advice, Julia sued for slander in the Miami-Dade Circuit Court. The 58-page lawsuit included recorded digital footprints, evidence of harassment, and citations to audio recordings thought to have Brandon's voice. In one spooky passage, he supposedly says, "She thinks she can just delete me. I will see to it she remembers." Julia said Brandon's antics had lost her brand partnerships, appointments, even personal safety. Ever austere in public, Florian became her protector in secret, protecting her from cameras, threats, and inquiries she had no answer for. From a tabloid triangle, what started out had now evolved into a legal struggle. For Brandon, though, the file was hardly a wake-up call. It resembled a detonation. Back on the farm, his isolation intensified. He stopped bathing, shaved his head, boarded up windows in his room, and kept journals of Julia's old posts, dates, outfits, timestamps. Obsession is frequently silent at first, but it establishes roots when left untreated. Then came the night the silence cracked. April 17, 2025. The breeze was harsh. The heavens, a black canvas smeared with stars. Inside the Gibbs house, a family imploded. Ron had discovered one of Brandon's journals, complete with plans, drawings, and sections driven by resentment. Betty spoke with him. Brandon cried out, said they never supported him, that they let her ruin everything. Glass broke here. One door closed with such force that the hinges cracked. At 9:58 p.m. Betty dialed 911. Her voice quivered. "My son, he's not himself," she said in whispers. Within 12 minutes, deputies showed up. Brandon was discovered outside the barn wandering barefoot in the gravel, naked, his hands bloodied from hammering the wooden gate. He was speaking softly about Julia, concerning Florian, regarding loyalty. He lunged toward one of the officials trying to talk to him. He was subdued, cuffed, and quietly put back in the rear of the vehicle. According to the arrest record, he was emotionally unstable. The next morning his mugshot went viral. Palai. Hollow is the term. Eyes free of illumination. The lad America once saw grow to love, now a man disintegrating before the world. Julia has stayed steadfast. Her lawsuit is still under progress. She makes few public comments, but they are heartfelt. "I never wanted this. All I wanted was to live, to be free." Florian has strengthened his support twice-fold. "I know what it's like to be hated for loving someone people don't understand," he told a reporter outside of court. "She is not the villain here. Her survivor is me." Brandon, on the other hand, sits in a Virginia prison awaiting psychological assessment and trial. Betty gets here once a week. Ron least of all. The farm is calm once more. Too silent. Beneath that silence, though, is a terrible tale of a man undone by the exact thing he thought would save him. Love. This is not only a 90-day love gone sour. Heartbreak is the anatomy of left to rot alone. This is a lesson about not all wounds healing over time. Others get more profound. Some stench. And some even make news headlines. This gossip is over. If you liked the video, then give your opinion in the comment box and stay with us by subscribing the channel. Thank you.